It is a dreary, kind of cold March morning, and I decided that today I'm going to get my seeds started. And I'm coming out here to the garden shed to grab my potting soil, and then I am taking it to the house where it's warmer. And just excuse me, I'm a little bit under the weather today. My throat is a little raw and been coughing some, so yeah, anyway, come along as I get my seeds started today and yeah, get some sprouts going hopefully here in a couple weeks. So my first thing that I want to get planted is my onion seeds. I should have had those in dirt already, but we had some things going and I knew we weren't going to be around this last weekend to water my stuff, so I just waited. And so today I want to get those in soil, get those things started growing. Then the other things I want to get started are some of my herbs. Rosemary, basil, some cilantro, and then this is some parsley seeds that were given to me by a friend, and dill. My sister gave me some dill seeds. So I'm going to get those started, and then I have several different cabbages and cauliflower and broccoli that I wanted to get started as well. I am actually going to be doing these 5 in milk jugs with the winter sowing method. I have never done that before, and I don't know how it works, but I have friends that have tried it and they say it works so well. You don't have to get the plants adjusted to the cold weather after growing them indoors. From sprouting to when they're ready to be planted outdoors, you don't have to harden them off. So I am going to try it this year, especially with my early crops. So yeah, and we'll see how that goes. I have some milk jugs that I'm gonna cut apart, and I'll video that process as I go. So, all right, I'm gonna get started filling my tray here with some dirt. I realized a few mistakes that I made last year with my onions. Number one was I planted them too deep. Onions do not want to be planted deep. They just want the roots in and maybe a little bit of the bottom of the onion in the ground. The rest of the onion wants to be outside of the ground. So that was my number one mistake. And then number 2 was I did not fertilize very often. So my plan is this year to, I'm starting my own seeds this year. Last year I did not, I bought the sets. So I'm starting my own seeds this year, and I'm planning on doing a little bit less, maybe 120, between 100 and 120 is kind of what I'm planning to sow. And then I want to be very careful how I plant the sets once I have onions here started. Excuse me. Plant them just really shallow and then stay on top of fertilizing them and see if I can get some nice big onions for this year. So I'm going to be planting some of these Utah yellow sweet Spanish. I want mostly these because these are known to store for longer. So that is my goal for storing. And then I'm also going to be planting some of these red burgundy onions because I like a nice purple onion. So yeah, I'm going to do mostly the Utah yellow Spanish sweet Spanish. And then I'm going to be doing some of these as well. Okay, I'm going to be filling this for my herbs that I'm starting. Wash my hands first. And I'm going to be labeling everything as I go. I've got these little pieces of leftover scraps from our baskets, our hand woven baskets that we make. We just use them for fire starter or little tags. So I'm going to be using those for my little tabs to know what I planted. So last year I had tried rosemary and the plants the seeds never sprouted. So I don't know what I did wrong with that or if the seeds were just bad. So we're gonna try again this year. Wow, where did that seed go? I lost a seed, oh no. I only have a few seeds, so we're going to plant those and hope for the best. It's hard telling where it went. Anyway, I don't need more than 2 plants, but I am planting more so that I for sure have some plants. Alright, that is the rosemary. Next up is cilantro. Now, last year I only had 1 plant of cilantro. I had planted more, but that was the only one that came up. And so I am gonna start a few more seeds on that and hope that I want probably at least 3 plants because I want to harvest more cilantro this year than I did last year. Basil. I had a huge plant last year and I got so much basil off of that one plant that I'm not sure that I want more than 1, but I am going to plant several. or I'm going to put several seeds in the ground, and if I get more than what I want, I will be giving them away, I guess. These seeds are so tiny. Next thing I have is parsley. The other thing that I tried last year was parsley, and it never sprouted for me. So I am trying some different seeds this year. The other ones that I had last year, I don't know, were they just old or what was going on with them, but I have different seeds this year, so let's hope these take off, because I would like to, I love to put parsley in soups, stews, just different things like that, so I would love to have more parsley to harvest. That should be enough. And the last one that I am planting for today is dill. I had dill in my garden the year before, I believe, and I think it got pulled out. I don't know, did my husband pull it out or did I pull it out? I'm not sure. But anyway, it disappeared. So I'm going to plant another couple of plants. I don't want it to take over because I know dill can quickly take over, but we shall see. Plant just a few of them. All right, that is it on herbs, I believe. But you know what? I still have 2 spots back here. So I am going to try my hand at lavender again. I have lavender seeds, and I did start lavender last year, and it was growing nicely, and I had it inside all summer because I was trying to get it bigger, and it grew to about, I don't know, 3.5 to 4 inches, and then all of a sudden it just died. So I don't know what I did wrong. I will be doing a little bit more research on how to successfully grow lavender. So yeah, they sprouted, they grew nicely until they were about 3 to 4 inches tall, and then they just died. So I don't know. So this is something else I started a couple weeks ago. One of my sweet potatoes left over from last year. And as you can see, it is getting a nice root there. And I just noticed it is starting to sprout up top there just a little bit. I am hoping to get lots and lots of sweet potato plants off of this one sweet potato. Last year we planted, I think it was right around 15 plants of sweet potatoes. And we did not plant them early enough. I did not get my sweet potato slips started early enough. And so it was, I don't remember what time or what part of the year it was when we got them out. I just know it was late in the season. And so we got a lot of sweet potatoes, but a lot of them were small. So the goal is I got my sweet potato started way earlier this year, and the goal is to get them in the ground as soon as we can, like as soon as it's as soon as we've had our last frost date. Get them in the ground because we love sweet potatoes around here, and the goal is to try to raise enough sweet potatoes that we don't have to buy any. So we want to do that with just regular potatoes as well. And we did raise some really nice potatoes last year. If you have been on our YouTube channel for some time, you saw our harvest from last year. But that was not enough to last us a year, so we definitely want to do more. But our garden space is not super big, so we are thinking maybe doing 2 plantings. Has anyone ever tried that? Like a fall planting on potatoes? I have never tried it, so I don't know how it works. But I know there are people that do. So we're thinking maybe doing a fall planting of potatoes. So, all right, I am going to be cutting, I already did one. I'm going to be cutting these open. 3 sides. Then filling this bottom part with dirt. I should have maybe left that a little bit taller so that I can get a nice amount of dirt in there. I think this will be okay. So I've got this full, and then I'll be putting my seeds in and closing it back up. We have Baker Creek Filderkraut cabbage, if I can say it right. This was given to me by my friend Katie, and it is what is used for kimchi. I have never had kimchi, but my friend Katie over at Katie's Roots and Refuge Recipes, I can say that, Katie's Roots and Recipes has made kimchi, and she said she would get me a jar one of these times when I come see her. So I'm looking forward to it. I have made my own sauerkraut, and it's very similar to that as far as the fermenting part of it, but it's got a lot more spices and stuff in it, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So I am trying some of this, it's a Chinese cabbage is what it is. So I'm gonna try some of this year and hopefully make some kimchi. We shall see how it goes. I'm gonna start with seeds. So I have that, and then I'm going to, in the same one, since I'm only starting a few, whoops, I lost a few seeds. I'm going to be doing a few of the Nemoth Red Rock cabbage. They're supposed to get really huge, thus the name Nemoth. So I've never had this, so we're gonna try. See how this red cabbage does. I'm gonna do a few of these plants as well. I'm thinking maybe about 6 plants. I threw about 12 seeds in there, so they might all come up. I don't know. All right, now we better put some markers in here, or I'll forget what it is. got those two marked. And I don't have my tape in here right now, so we're just gonna move on to the next one. Next up, I am going to do I'm going to do broccoli. This is the Waltham 29 broccoli. And I planted this last year, but again, I got it out too late, so it didn't do very well. I want to plant, this year I'm at home. Last year I was gone over planting time when I should have gotten my early stuff out. So I did not get my stuff out early. It was more towards the end of April before I got anything out. And for this region, that is too late for your early stuff. So I'm hoping to get a head start on that this year. I'm going to do a few more. That should be plenty for our broccoli. Next is cauliflower. This is the early snowball cauliflower. I'm just gonna plant all of them. I only have about 15 seeds here, but or 20, probably more than 20, but I'm just gonna plant all of them. If they all come up, yay. I'll just have lots of broccoli. And then the last thing is Brussels sprouts. These are the Catskill Brussels sprouts. So I'm gonna plant some of those as well. I planted them last year, but again, I was late on most of my stuff for the early stuff, so I did pick some Brussels sprouts off of our plants, but not enough to make it worth my time. So again, get them out early. I just got a bunch of seeds in there, so I guess if we have a bunch of Brussels sprouts, we'll have a bunch of Brussels sprouts. Like I said, if I have extra plants, I will be giving them to friends, mom, sisters, whoever. I'll be sharing with my plants if I have extra coming up. So, all right, that is all I'm going to plant for today. So, I forgot to. I'm gonna wrap these up with some duct tape. Tuck this in a little bit. All right, we are headed outside to set them out here. There's still a little bit of snow on the ground as we got some last night. Okay, those will set there till they are sprouted out and growing, and then depending on how many come up, I might have to separate them, but if not, they will stay in there till they're ready for the garden. That seems easy enough to me, but I don't know. I've never tried it before, so we'll see how that goes, and I'll update you guys. If you follow along on our YouTube channel and see our upcoming videos, I'm sure we'll be doing videos of planting the garden and getting all our stuff in the ground. So yeah, stay tuned. So it is now a week later, and this is my setup from the seeds that I started. And let me show you what is coming through. So this container is where I planted my herbs, and my basil is coming through. That is the only thing coming through on this container so far. Oh no, there I see my cilantro. Wow, it's just barely coming through, but you can see that little bitty green there. But it is looking good. And then over here we have the onions, and they are starting to come through nicely here. I let them get a little bit too dry, which I think is why they're a little slow coming through. But I am now keeping an eye on them and trying to keep them nice and wet, and they're really coming through. So stay tuned for the rest of my stuff coming through. So here is some of my plants. This is the basil, and I've already transplanted my cilantro. So that's what I am about to do with this basil as well. Now, some of my other stuff has not made an appearance yet, but I am hopeful that it will. So I'm going to transplant the things that have come up and are starting to get up against the plastic, and then I want to get it covered up and hopefully get it warm enough to where those seeds will still germinate. I've got my potting soil out here. Oops, things falling in there. Fill up my containers. Now that I've got all my containers filled, let's head back inside and get the plants in. Hey guys, it is now 3 weeks later, and I wanted to give you an update on where all my seeds, my sprouts are at, and give you a little bit update on the winter sowing. So I'm going to flip the camera around and show you what's... So here is my basil and cilantro. These are getting very nice and beautiful. I have since planted tomatoes and peppers, and those are my Amish paste tomatoes. Are coming up nicely. Some more cilantro and dill. My onions are actually looking pretty decent today. So these have I've really struggled. As you can see on this side, they did not germinate very well. And a lot of them died off. What I'm doing wrong with it, but it seems that they die real easily. I don't know. Anyway, some of them are looking nice and they're going to be okay. It's just taking them a little bit longer. But I did go and buy some onions because I really wanted to get a head start, get those onions in the ground. So I did go buy those. And I have already planted them in my garden. So yay, those are doing well. The other thing with my winter sowing, it worked extremely well. They sprouted within a week and they were doing so good. And then we had a couple days of 10-degree weather and I totally forgot that they were already sprouted and they all froze off. I did not move them inside. So unfortunately, my broccoli and cabbage, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, all of that froze off. I was so disappointed. But I did just go to the greenhouse and get some cabbage and broccoli. I have not gotten any Brussels sprouts or cauliflower. But I did get that planted in my garden, so it is out there. It's loving this weather. We're having some cooler weather right now, and so those things are growing. Maybe one of these days I'll take my camera out there and show you guys what's growing out there. So anyway, that is the end of my video. Thanks for coming along. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and following along on our journey. We love you all. Have a blessed day.